So thank you so much for the opportunity to speak and to be here with you today. I must say I'm really impressed by the community in here and by the way you work together and by the ambience. We have been given 20 minutes, so it will be very brief. And we would like to talk about Bitcoin security beyond Bitcoin, or in other words, how Bitcoin startups can use Trezor security for their own benefit. We've been, thinking with Slush what to present. We will not be presenting on how Trezor works for end users. So I just want to do a fast, research here. How many of you are a part of a blockchain startup? Please raise your hands, just to know. Startups, Bitcoiners, Litecoiners, Dashers, Ethereum guys, okay. So for the rest of you who are new to hardware wallets and want to find out more, please jump on Bach. Can you please stand up, Bach, so everyone can see you? This is our community manager. He will be able to explain and show you Trezor afterwards and answer all your questions. But this presentation will be dedicated to integrations of Trezor to services. Okay. Before I jump on that, let me shortly introduce Satoshi Labs. Some of you may know us, but some of you may not know what we have done so far. We are innovating Bitcoin since 2010. The first endeavor that we did, or that Marek, also known as Slush, did, was the first Bitcoin mining pool in the world that operates until now, and it's called Slush Pool, currently with, I think, 6% market share. Another partner in crime in Satoshi Labs, who is not here with us today, but he's an active co-developer of Trezor 2. He did the first Bitcoin map, or the map for finding merchants accepting Bitcoin in 2013. But, well, these are some other achievements that we have done on the road here. Most of the miners today use Stratum protocol to mine, which was developed by Marek. And we have largely contributed and also created some Bitcoin improvement proposals that are currently used by most of the wallets. And other stuff you can look up. But most importantly, Trezor, this is our flagship product today. This innovation came to reality because of a real necessity. And sometimes people have to learn the hard way. And Slush learned the hard way because his pool has been hacked, and he himself lost over 3,000 Bitcoins. I think that should be over $2 million today. That hurts. So anyway, Slush learned, and he tried to think of a solution that would make it easy for people without any understanding of encryption and technology to secure their own Bitcoins. So together with Pavel Rusnak, they were working on Trezor since late 2012. We announced 2013. Today, Trezor is being used by people in 100 countries around the world, which I believe is an amazing achievement. We didn't count on this when we started this hobby project. But more importantly, it secures hundreds of millions Bitcoins worth of dollars, or how do you say? I knew I'm going to mix it up. But Trezor is not just a Bitcoin hardware wallet. So what is it? Oh, yeah. This is another slide that I wanted to talk about. So why we did it? Because cryptocurrencies are sexy, right? But not just for us that we are here, but for the hackers and thieves. And usually the question, and I like to repeat it, I know you've heard it all the time, but the question usually is not when or not if your service is going to be hacked, but when. So we created Trezor to avoid a lot of digital risks, and today this is not only a Bitcoin wallet. As I said, we already support several different currencies. We are gradually adding new ones. Most recently, we have added Ethereum support and Zcash support, which is going to be launched I think this week or next one. Trezor is not only a hardware wallet for cryptocurrencies. Trezor can be used as an encryption device to encrypt any data with a simple button click. So imagine, people with no expertise in security can do one click and encrypt the most sensitive things, the most sensitive data they have. So as a proof of concept, we implemented Trezor Password Manager, where you can actually store your passwords online, but very secure, because all the passwords are encrypted before uploaded to the cloud, for example. Trezor can be also used as a login token. If you have a website that works with sensitive data, with money, all these kind of things, you can either use our API to implement a passwordless login that completely erases the necessity of usernames and passwords. Or you can use Trezor as a second-factor authenticator. We have implemented the U2F support, which is the newest standard, now being more and more adopted with the major services like you see Gmail, Dropbox, Dashlane, or GitHub for developers. There is bitxla. Do you know bitxla? The exchange here. They have implemented the passwordless login. Please feel free to go to their website, try how smooth it is. It's really nice. Or just hook your Trezor with Gmail or GitHub and try it out. This is one example of the integration of Trezor to an exchange that we have launched recently with Bitstamp. What Bitstamp has done here, they have taken and they have embedded the Trezor accounts into their interface. So the user can protect and manage his private keys without having to leave the environment of the service. So what you do here is you, as the service provider, you decrease your operational risk and you distribute the risk towards the user, and the user tackles the risk very easily with his hardware wallet. And it's very convenient. Besides this, I don't have it on my slides, but besides this, you can also use Trezor to log into SSH. You can use Trezor for GPG, creation of the keys, for signing and for decrypting, which is perfectly suitable for encrypting documents and email communication. Yes, please, Marek, tell us more.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So, I have some problem with my board. Thank you. So, okay, you see that Trezor is already doing a lot of things, and we are continuously adding a lot of features inside. However, during last years, we realized that there's a lot of cool startups, and they have a need of secure storage of private keys, and they are continuously asking us, please add please add support for this coin or this new cool feature. And we realized that it's simply not possible in our small team to understand everything. I mean, the Trezor is done in a pretty low-level C code, C language for embedded systems. So we have to understand very well what we are doing there. So when some startup came, we have to study how it works internally, understand it, and code it for the Trezor itself. So we have been thinking how to improve this and let the developers add these features, these use cases into the Trezor themselves. Because when we ask them, okay, there's our code, simply implement it in the C code and give us pull request and we will review and add the feature, developers usually fails because the code is not something like JavaScript or so. So we have been thinking how to improve this, and now you can see Trezor version 2. It's a prototype. And version 2 is not just about better hardware, rich capacitive touchscreen and color display and faster processor and so on. But there's a lot of improvements under the hood. Actually, we integrated Python interpreter directly into the device. So it is possible to script use cases and workflows and screens and communication with the computer in high-level Python code directly by developers themselves. And under the hood, there is all the good crypto from Trezor version 1. So it looks like this. And based on my talks here with many startups, I was thinking how to show all the opportunities given by the new stack. So I prepared a simple case study, and it's workflow for Trezor implemented in Python. I hope you can read the code, which add the possibility to stream some document, in this case some image, from the computer directly to the Trezor, show the preview of the image directly on the display, let the user confirm if he agree that this is the document he wants to sign, and then Trezor use the private keys to sign this document and return it back to the computer. So you can see there is a streaming of the file from the computer. Based on the hardware limitations, it's not possible to load complete image to the device, but it's possible to stream it and resize the image for the screen. Then ask the user if he agrees with the action on the display, load private keys from the storage, and optionally ask for a PIN to authorize the user to the device, and then do actual signing using the keys and return fingerprint and the device signature back to the computer. So in this 40 lines of code, you can see that the new feature can be added pretty easily without the deep knowledge into the crypto, because everything is under the hood prepared by us. And so it's available for developers. And I think most of, for example, JavaScript developers will be pretty familiar with the framework which we have prepared. So then, well, in the Trezor one, okay, so the developers are able with the version 2 add the feature, but they have to release the firmware to their users somehow. So in version 1, we have to review, audit all the code, and sign it into the official firmware, because Trezor version 1 understand or allow only officially signed firmware run on the device. So we have been thinking how to solve this, and we have found a solution. How it works? We allow companies, startups, and developers to release their own firmware, which don't need to be signed or reviewed by us, and we only sign them so-called vendor header, which is the binary structure, or it is a structure of data containing the name of the company, some logo, and signing keys. I mean, public part of the signing keys. So we sign this using our keys, which are in the Trezor, and then the developers can release their own firmware, and the device when they add this vendor header to the firmware itself, the device in a boot time can check that the firmware has been released by some entity. So user can see if the firmware itself was signed by this third-party entity, and if the firmware is trusted. So it's a bit more complicated. This is just a high-level overview. But thanks to these two key features, I mean the high-level Python API and the possibility to run third-party firmware directly in the Trezor, we hope to open development and decentralize the development for security applications on top of Trezor without us being a bottleneck for the infrastructure.
Okay, so that's it. If you feel like you want to get started right now, feel free to drop us an email or just talk to us as you are here. And I think we have a couple of minutes for questions if you want.
3 minutes for questions. We have to be strict on time, unfortunately, but please ask your questions now.
Is there anyone with a micro?
Is there a microphone lady?
Or I will repeat the questions, okay.
Okay.
Okay, it's buytrezor.com. It's the official site. You can also use Amazon in the US, depends where you are. Or from Bach. Yeah.
Questions?
Technical questions, you know, the nerd of the company is here. Use it. Okay, I think we can you know, mingle after this and discuss all options and your use cases and your needs. Okay. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.